Anyway, since I moved into that bedroom, I've been having a lot of supernatural experiences. And I keep hearing the last day of darkness. The last day of darkness was December 31st, and the shift had begun. And that's pretty interesting because I'd never heard about the last day of darkness before, but something tipped. We have tipped something, and the energy field of the planet is harmoniously balancing, starting to balance. And if we continue to shift forward and move up with it, then this balancing will continue. And I think that's what's going on in Canada, up with the truckers. I think the last day of darkness came down upon us and the people felt moved. And every 100 years or so, we either get a freedom shift or a forced shift. And we are at place right now that choosing the freedom shift, the man, the working man, the person, the human that drives the boat, all considering and putting our time and our energy and our efforts on what's happening in Ottawa, is really lighting up the energy field. So it is definitely just keep saying yes, just keep saying thank you, just keep saying I choose to move forward, I choose to play in the new field. Everything we want is there. And again, you know, if the portal's open and if the Rainbow Bridge shows up, these are all Indigenous teachings. So if these things open and show up for us, then for God's sakes, go. So if you're sitting in your living room watching Matlock, where'd that come from? And something happens and you see the shimmering wall, it's for you. So go. I always joke with Evan about that. I said, I don't care where you are, whether I'm with you or not, if you see it, go in. And he always laughs and says, oh, Mom. And I said, well, if it's there, isn't it? So don't miss it. I often wonder if Amelia Earhart saw something that she drove into.
Just flew into it.
Right?
Wow.
She just flew into something. She just disappeared. And the dimensions are as real as this computer in this conversation. And they're just a slip away from us. And this bedroom that I'm sleeping in just makes me feel like I'm going to slip right through into the other world and open my eyes and go, wait, now we're not in Kansas anymore. But there's a lot of that happening. And going back to what I've always taught is just saying yes is the key to opening your energy body, spirit body, truth body. So just saying yes, I know there's something more. Just saying yes, it's coming and it's positive. Just saying yes, that I want to be part of it. These are the things that unlock your psyche. And everybody's talking about the Great Awakening. Well, that can be a little bit daunting for some people to talk about the Great Awakening, especially fence sitters. You know, fence sitters are sitting there going, gee, something's happening. Right? But they don't talk about that every day. They go get their groceries, they go to work, they clean up their kids, they take a walk. They don't talk about the planet shifting into another dimensional field. There's not a conversation you walk into Sobeys and say, oh, hey, did you know the world's shifting? But they do know something's happening. So the Great Awakening may be a little bit too much for them to handle. But energetically, if you tell somebody that a table is only a table because the molecules are staying still long enough for it to be solid, the same applies to us. You know, Emoto talking about we're just water. We can be manipulated through thought. All these things are the things that are going to shift you into something new. If the portals don't open, okay. If we don't get assistance from the other side, if something doesn't come to assist us, we still have to save ourselves. And the only way we're going to save ourselves is to value each other and to come at it from do no harm, you know, honesty and integrity, live your joy fully without judgment and say thank you. That is the personal, physical, human way that we will have to shift it. So if we don't get intervention, we still have to stay high frequency, that when I look in your eyes, I see me. You know, we're the same. When I look at the girl who's having a hard day at work, we're the same. So we want to go, and we want as many of us to go. and as soon as possible. I'm more than ready. Pick me. Let's go. So, kindness, empathy, compassion, joy, gratitude. Gratitude. It just will open those doors for you. They're little locks. You're going to unlock them and say yes and say, I'm ready to receive whatever's coming. I believe in positive, and I believe in beauty, and I believe in joy, and I believe in gratitude, and I believe the God, the giver of direction, the creator of our experience, is part of us and wants the best for us. So the more you say yes, and the more you look for avenues of yesness, and the more you look for, the Canadians bringing out their gas cans, and that's how many we are. We all got our gas can going, count me in. I got no gas in my can, but you don't know that, right? But I'm here with my gas can. So we just say yes to the gas can. We just say yes to each other. Oh, there's something happening over here. People need help. Go help. I'm unable to go to Ottawa and help, but I'll tell you, every single day, I put my hands up and I'm like, okay, truckers, care, bear, stare, and you give them a little love and you go about your day. So, but I think from this point forward, December 31st was the last day of darkness. That means we get a little bit more light every single day. And here we are on like February 15th, and we've got so much light shining right now. Even with that crazy person doing his crazy stuff, I always liken it to the Grinch who stole Christmas. He took everything. He took everything. They had nothing, and they still held hands, and they rocked, and they sang, and they loved each other, and they won. And his heart had no choice but to grow, and he came back in the fold. And that's how we welcome people who have gone astray. But it all comes from compassion, love, and gratitude, and seeing that every one of us is struggling. It's a struggle, and we can't pretend it's not there. We can't go, oh, everything's wonderful. But that's really what we want to be saying. So that's where I go with the fake it till you make it. Just say everything's wonderful enough times, and then I always go, and then you can turn around and have a little cry, wah! And then come back and go, okay, everything's wonderful. I just lost myself for a moment. So the beings have given us 3 more dates. We just had a big date in January. I'm a very solitary practitioner when I come to my energy work. I tend to want to be with myself. I think too much. Everybody says I think too much. Now we have a second one coming, bang, bang. They're 2 in a row. So on February 21st, so many people have asked about why 1107. I don't know why 1107. I remember back in 2006 when people started asking me, why did you pick July 17th? And I said, I didn't pick it. The beings picked it. And then people would come forward and say, well, I did a horoscope or, a reading on July 17th. And I'd say, and what did it say? And they say, a wonderful day to do these things. And I'm like, well, then they must know what they're doing. So we're in the same place. Now, I do know the number 11 is a cosmic number, and it's referencing constantly the God source, the connection between us. I also know that 7 is another one of those numbers. The Bible's filled with 7 years, 7 people, 7 goats, 7 ducks, 7. I shouldn't make fun of that, but it is filled with 7. So they've put 2 together. I don't know why they did that, and nobody has told me. And Celia has asked me numerous times, and I have asked, but nothing. I'm getting a big flat nothing. And therefore, I think what's necessary from us as a people is to just trust that they haven't been wrong before. Anyway, so last night when I went to bed, I asked, I did ask again why 1107, and I did get a kind of a download. It wasn't a clear one where they speak to me, but it was, you get 4 minutes head start on the darkness. They don't know when you're starting. And I started to laugh, and I was like, ooh, did I make that up? Or was that like an infusion? And anybody who's kind of psychic and practicing intuition and speaking with the other world and talking to your higher self, and there's so many avenues to this. Learning to listen to what they say is the challenge, because your mind goes, oh, did I make that up? Now, even when I get something really clear in my head, like, put it in your purse, clear as day. You're like, did I make that up? Where'd that come from? Yeah, so I don't know why 1107, except both numbers are really powerful numbers in the spiritual world. And we're getting 4 minutes head start in the darkness. Let's go with that.
Is it still 27 hours around the 12 hours before, 15 after?
Yeah, see, these beings, again, we're talking time that doesn't exist. You and I are sitting here, and I look at my clock right now, and I'm like, wow, look at that. It's 1:05. It doesn't exist. Part of why, how everybody was waiting for 2012, and, everything's going to be different. But their timeline and our timeline is not even similar. They just don't understand time. Their favorite time to come and wake you up is 3 a.m. And when you tell them that that's a bad time to come, they're like, why? What's time? Why do you mean we shouldn't come now? The veil's open now. This is the best time. And I'm like, no, man, I'm trying to sleep. I don't know what other people are like when they channel or have the communication with other worldlies, but you have to teach them what time is. So, 1107 is the time they gave us. Maybe that's a code button. Dee, dee, dee. Like, we don't know. They are on the other side. They are teaching us. So time doesn't exist. So they said 27 hours. Okay, but even that's a unique kind of, well, not 27 hours. Yes, 27 hours. But it's an estimate. There's just no way their timeline and our timeline is the same, because they have given me stuff and I've kind of like, oh, I'm expecting it today. And then you don't see it for a week. Right? So this is also one of the challenges of faith. There's a cool story about, I might have told the story somewhere along the line, a bluebird feather. And when they give me information, I think I have to do it. So I have to find a blue jay feather today. And it's like, so you're a crazy person, blue jay feather, and everything feels like it's on you, the channeler, the person speaking to the other side, or somebody working on that, trying to get more and more contact. And then you get a piece of information that you're starting to work with. So I spent all day looking for a blue jay feather, and by the end of the day was disappointed that, oh, well, you didn't send me a blue jay feather. Now, I might get my blue jay feather tomorrow, but as it turned out, Evan came in the door with the blue jay feather and said, look, I found you a blue jay feather. So it goes back to, we always think we have to do everything instead of trusting, oh, a blue jay feather is coming as a proof of our communication.
Did he know you were looking for a blue jay feather, or did he not know?
No, he was walking home and he saw the blue jay feather on the sidewalk and picked it up and said, Mom loves feathers. So he came home with a feather. Look, Mommy, I got you a blue jay feather. I was like, wow. But see, we get information through the ether and we want to employ it in our day. We want it to happen. We want to make it happen. But we can't make it happen. That's the trust and the allowing. And that's where we are right now. They've told us 1107. The trust and the allowing is that something in that. It's either a button code, it's a code, wake-up code. We don't know what it is. Why did they change from 1111? Except the 4 minutes head start on the darkness. That kind of made sense to me last night. So I'm going with that one.
Oh, cool. That sounds good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a couple other questions, but is there anything else you want to say about February 21st, or encouragement to people to join, or?
Well, I think we're at the point in life that either, it's, you're either in or you're not in. You either understand some sense of what's happening or you don't. It's the fence sitter. We have the New Age metaphysical people who are like, yeah, let's do this thing. We have the Christian-based or dogma-based, religious-based people. And if that's the case, why is this not possible? So they can go, yeah, I'm in. And we have these fence sitters, and that's who I'm always talking to right now, is because fence sitters are good people that would do something if they knew what the hell to do. Bring your can of gas. Get up there and show the world that, listen, I've got my can of gas too, man. I'm in this. So that's what the fence sitters are being presented with right now. You don't have to fully believe in anything, but saying yes to it activates it. So the fence sitters are the ones, if you want to play in the new field. What's the new field? The high frequency, the joy, where the suit is built for pleasure and where humanity thrives and becomes creative little gods. Where we can truly enjoy our suit and be in gratitude. And that's where we all want to head. Now, if it's on this planet, great. If we need a multidimensional shift, okay, great. If we need a rainbow bridge, okay, great. Tell us what to do, and we'll just say yes. And in my case, I often say to people, I struggle with believing stuff the most. Like, this can't be real, but it is real because it's just a tangible thing for my life. So your brain wants to tell you one thing, your heart wants to tell you something else. So all the fence sitters out there that want to shift this planet, just say yes. And if you can give even a little written note, right? Because you don't have to apply yourself. Time's irrelevant, right? So yeah, this is the time zone we're going to do this, but time's irrelevant. So write yourself a note. In my sovereign body of light, I share all my high frequency energy with the planet right now, but I can't get up at 4 o'clock, so I'm going to bed, So the mere fact, I think, in that 27-hour where you start to talk about positive shifts, positive changes, clean air, clean water, love for everybody, compassion and joy, and sharing with each other, getting your can of gasoline and saying, I want to be in the shift of the positive movements forward. Count me in. They're ticks. And then you know what? You've made your vote. You've made the vote. And there's enough of us. That's more and more evident every day. But the fence sitters have that powerful little burst, and the children. If you can encourage your children to say thank you, thank you, thank you on February 21st, anytime. Let's say thank you for something. Wow, what a great experience getting this ice cream cone. I don't know. I always talk about ice cream. Like, just if you can get your kids to say thank you, thank you, thank you on February 21st, write it, draw it, color it, it would be powerful. So why wouldn't we? It doesn't cost anything. There's nothing to join. I always say that there's nothing to really give except your heart energy, and you really want to give it. Even one genuine caring thought, will tick your box in that 27-hour period. But our most powerful period is when we come together at 11:11. Oh, wait, no, wrong time. 11:07.
I've done that.
4 minutes ahead of the darkness. So, but in that 27-hour period, the more joy you can have and the more gratitude you can have, just punch it. Just give it. So I usually lay in my bed.
That's a
I'm
happy
not a
place.
good getter-upper.
Yeah, that's a happy place. Warm and snuggly and
it is. I got my
pillows
puppies,
and
I got my, yep. So it's a real joy place for me, even though I don't sleep well. I love my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing maybe we could cover today is that you've had visions a long time ago about the pandemic. Do you want to talk about that?
That is kind of wild, actually, that I had visions about the pandemic. So back in 2006 and 2007, I started talking about a pandemic. Now, I don't know if it's recorded anywhere, because back then I certainly didn't have anybody recording me all the time, but I think there's some places it's mentioned.
Yeah, in the 2007 Vancouver speech.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the
So
first
when
video on
that
YouTube.
pandemic thing started happening, I'm always resistant to talk about anything that's dark, because their agenda is to have us be light, right? Grateful, happy, joyful. So when you talk about something dark, a pandemic is not something that is like going to motivate people. But they wanted us to know that the true pandemic that was happening on the planet was frequency illness. And that frequency illness would affect humans differently. There would be mass psychosis, mental distress, suicide. There was a lot of chaos. Now, I thought the pandemic would be, what we have dealt with as a disease, but the real pandemic is low frequency. hatred of each other, condemning each other, controlling each other, not allowing ourselves to let God light, source light, true light in us come forward. And so the disease that has come out of that, that's, you know, people are talking about, is this real or is this not real? The pandemic of low frequency is real. That is real. And the low frequency pandemic of the planet is how these biggie wiggies are controlling us, right? There's a whole bunch of them out there that don't want us to shine bright light, because we will move into a place of power. The world will shift. Low frequency energy will not be able to sustain itself, and therefore all the biggie wiggies that are causing all the upset and chaos will be forced energetically somewhere else. And I have no what's the word? Each one of us are entities experiencing life in form. So even the guys that look like the bad guys, you know, the bad guys, they're just, they've written out their play, they've written out their screenplay, they're acting the way that their part is supposed to be here. So even the people who seem to be our bad guys and are coming after us, the more we say thank you to them, the more we lift up out of this pandemic. Oh, you know, that leader's a bad guy. Wow, thank you. You're really doing a great job at uniting us, right? Oh, that guy's a bad guy. Thank you. You're doing a great job at uniting us, the people. So, but they're still energy beings in suits. It's just a big play. It's just a big hollow deck of sorts. So the more we laugh at them and say, oh my gosh, look, you're really playing your part so well, you're getting an Academy Award. And the more we can see that player, that human who has an energy being inside of them, playing the role they picked, they wrote out the script, they wrote out their character, they wrote out even what their physical suit would look like, the same as you did. We all picked. I love it when kids say, I didn't pick to be here. Bullshit, you did. but we need to be teaching children that at 2. What we teach now is not conducive to the harmonious state that we can create. So when a child's 2 and we start to teach them that, oh, you chose to come to Earth. You know, you chose us as your parents, or your life guides. You chose this, and we're going to help you have a cool, great experience. Well, now the old Earth experience is duality, pain and suffering, joy and gratitude, and you know, wonder. But the new one, and I do know this for fact in my gut, there is a new one, and we're cutting out the pain and suffering. That frequency doesn't exist in the new experience.
And can you talk to that? It's like, why does frequency illness exist now, whereas it didn't, say, like 20 years ago?
Frequency, it's always existed. We were always in, like, our Earth had a frequency in the field, and we each individually had a field. So I think we've talked about the fact that in the future, medicine will be like, they're going to see where your frequency is really low. No wonder you feel so bad. Here's your prescription. Go have joyful things happen, and then say thank you, and you'll lift your frequency. You'll feel better. What's happened now that's caused the pandemic of frequency illness is the energy field of the planet, and she is a sentient being on her own. She has her own field. It is too high. We are too low. Her field is 900 hertz, between 800 and 900. She just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. We keep getting lower and lower and lower. They've got us in a great spot, because the more fear they blast at you, the more chaos they blast at you, the more upset they blast at you. If you don't respond with oh, isn't that interesting, which keeps you at a nice level field, and then say, oh, symptoms of a world in chaos, I send you my love. These are the smallest little for free things we can do. But if you let them beat you down, and And it's insidious. It's a little pick, 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 pick. I was telling Celia about it this morning. You know, the fridge is broken, the stove is broken, the dishwasher is broken. There's bugs in the bats in the belfry and bugs in the basement. Yeah. And it's picking at you till you go, ah. So now you've dropped your frequency into a real low frequency spot. You can't do positive things for yourself or anybody else. So the planet is going up rapidly. And we are being bombarded by the planetary darky baddies or big wiggies or whatever we want to call them. And they just keep throwing the broken fridge and the right? And they're throwing them at us. And they're like, oh, that'll get them. And they're like, what? They're still singing? Oh, well, let's throw this. What? They're still singing? We got to sing. We got to get our frequency up with the planetary frequency. And like I said, the rainbow bridge may come, the portals may open, or we'll shift. You know how they say, two are in the field and one is taken. Or we got to fix it ourselves. And at least we've done the work to get to seeing each other as the same creatures, God, light, and form. And we each pick a body, and we each pick a life story to live. And that's all we're doing. And as soon as you die in this body, you'll go home. You'll go, wow, that was the best ride ever. You're going to pick a new body. And you're going to come right back and go, woohoo, and do it again. Only this time, our new field is going to be so awesome. Beauty and pleasure and joy and art and music and travel and each other. But we just have to say yes to it. And we have to get our frequency up where the planetary frequency is. So if you can spend 5 minutes a day, and I often joke about the pee prayers, right? The pee, you know, you go to the potty, you got to pee, and you got 5 minutes to say something positive.
Yep.
Right? And everything counts right now. Everything's amplified. If you're saying this sucks, right? If you're saying, hey, this is really great, like everything you come out of your mouth right now is the one to, it's really explosive. So I don't know how much time we have longer here. We have the date that's coming up. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the date.
February 21st, 2023.
Right.
So we have this Monday coming up, and then we have the other February 21st.
And I have one more date. That's all I have. And I haven't been told what the last date is, except they called it World Contact Day in 2028. So even that's 7 years, which I always think is kind of cool. But love, compassion, joy, gratitude, just put it there. And if you're not feeling that way, fake it. You know, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. But if I don't talk about how much it sucks and I just put it away, then I can at least say, oh, I'm grateful for this glass of water. You know, like it's a bad day. Sometimes a glass of water is the only gratitude you're feeling. So just squeak it out anywhere, you know, just consciously, because I said to Celia, my 10%, you know, I can only give 10%. And I said, but my 10% is joyful. And some days all you got is that little 10%. So it's like jump and go, woohoo!
Awesome. Thank you for your 10%.
That's my 10%.
It's great.
My gosh, if I ever get 100% going, we're going to have a party.
It's going to happen.